says May 14th up there. It's not the 14th of May.
They were thinking of me. That was
very astute of you, sir. I love that.
Okay,
Okay,
keep reading
though. Okay, Emily, take it away, girlfriend.
So one of the things I love most about this office is the collaboration, the help that our agents provide one another. So I would love to get started by having someone shout out another agent who showed up for you in the past week or so. Charlie.
Eli right here. We talked because social media, I literally will get mad and I'll throw my phone because I don't like it. And he definitely helped me get almost 100 new friends on my business page.
That's a huge one. Yeah, in the back.
I want to say thank you to Susan in front of everybody because I had a question on Saturday and I was stressed out. She answered my question and she solved everything for me.
And I went based on the social media. I'm actually teaching a class on June 12th, and I got Larissa to teach the class today.
All right, one more.
What if there's more than one?
Got it.
That's fine. That's
Then throw the hands up.
No problem right there. I have one.
Mariners beat the Yankees last night.
Yeah, they did.
I want to shout out Monica. I was holding an open house near her place, and she came and introduced herself, and she came to the open house, introduced herself, she let me park in her parking space, and I didn't know her before, and now I do.
Shout out Monica, very nice. All right.
All right. Real quick, we've got an announcement with Miss Billy.
Yes.
Coming up.
Okay. So for those of you that are obviously in our Federal Way building, right, you know how challenging it has been the last however long with our internet.
Yeah.
So I'm here to announce that we have it resolved, right? We have to up. So Gwen, in the way that Gwen explains things, I'm going to give you guys a Gwen isn't there. So we went from a 2-lane highway going up a hill behind semi-trucks to now going on a 10-lane highway going back and forth and no cops. So if you guys happen to see anything that looks a little bit off to you or something does slow down, please let us know right away because that should not be the case. Okay. And I really wanted Edgar to be here when I said that, but
Thank you, Billy. Okay, TCPA, the do not call. I think it was last week, Susan and I were discussing ways of helping you guys understand how to use this and get access to the call list in regards to making a video. It is here.
Working on that, gathering some information with the people who actually use the site.
Perfect. Okay, that's awesome. So we'll get that resource to you guys so it's available when you need it to protect you guys, because this is very serious, right? So learning how to use this to your benefit instead of us just coming up here and talking about it is the direction we need to go. Okay. All right. Excellent. Go, Melissa, go.
Oh, my bad. So welcome. We have Barbara, Alvis, Zach, Sarah, Chris, I want to say Lativia. Eli, welcome back. Raj, Trevor, welcome back. And Tammy. These are all the people who joined in April, not March, because it is May. Very nice.
I want you guys to be intentional as you're walking around the office, the market center, and you see a face you're not familiar with, because we are starting to see some momentum with our growth. Please introduce yourself and get to know who that individual is so that they feel welcomed and included. Okay.
Is there anybody new in the room right now who maybe joined in May or April who would like to just put a hand up or a stand up?
Stand up, Eric and Rod, and let's see.
Yeah, come on, Monica. I know. Our April cappers, we have David and Courtney Berg, Christine Bowers, Cheryl, Susan, Julianne Gibson, Dawn Turnipseed, Howard Veal, Eric Kai, and Michelle Wallace. Way to go, guys. And we have our first listings for Brenda, Connor, and Josh Moynihan. These are in the room today. And our first closings with Chris Kirchner, Tanya, and Josh. Chris is in the room. Oh, there we go. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
And our Triple Crown Award. Do you want to take this one away, Miss M?
All right, so all of these agents had one listing, one closing, and one written unit in the month of April. We have Anthony, Ashley, Brenda, Brianna, Cheryl and Dan, Cheryl Farnham, Chris Archer, Chris Ranch, NJ Properties, Chris Johnson, David Knight, Tom and Lori Kittleman, Cindy Heilman, David and Courtney Berg, Derek Johnson, Edgar and Camilla, Howard, Julianne, Julia, Kathy, Hillary, Josh, Todd, Trenton, Kevin, Larissa, Matt, Michelle, Mike, Jackie in November, Nicole Larson, Sarah Robbins, Shannon and Rodolfo, Rosie, Stephen and Hannah, Stuart, Susan, Travis and Emily, Victoria, Allison, Brian, Manawis, Brian Pham, Callie Strickling, Carla Clark, and Tim McEwen.
While Emily catches her breath. You guys, this is an award that I want you guys all to be focusing on, because what this shows is consistency in lead generation and not letting your now business affect your future business. How good is it to know you got a closing, a pending, and a new piece of business coming your way, right? We all want consistency, so this is what I want you guys focusing on, okay? Congratulations to everybody that has been. Thank you, thank you.
$1 Million Club, we have Chris Archer, Christine Bowers, Larissa Butler, Julianne Gibson, Caitlin Gleason, Chad and Teresa Gelzer, Julie, Tom and Lori Kittleman, Miss Dee Dee, NJ Properties, Nicole Larson, Tori, Travis and Emily, Mike Bernard, Brianna, Nadia, Brian Pham, Howard Veal, Dan Whitehouse, Ashley, Tracy Zook, I want to say, fabulous, Julie Gunn, Trenton Hazinga, Chris Johnson, and Heather Ramos. Very nice job, guys.
And in the Million Plus Club at 2 million, we have Hannah Ranch, Kathy Cleaver, Anthony Prado, Dawn Turnipseed, and Carla Clark.
Really nice. Way to go, guys.
In the 3 million, we've got Jackie and November Parker, Edgar and Camilla Sarkisian, and Todd Huzenga.
Oh, November came in right at the time.
In the 4 million club, we've got Mr. Chris Ranch. And in the 7 million group, we've got Tim McCurry and Rosie Rourke.
Yeah, way to go, guys. Killing it. So for listing units, top listing units in Mountains to Sound, we have, starting from the bottom up, we have Adrian Wong, Lauren Alvarez, Josh Moynihan, Tia Odell, Nicole Coomer, Lene Miller, Brian Pham, and coming in at number 1, Miss Hillary.
And in Federal Way, we have Stuart Stedman, Julia Gallagher, Nicole Chang, Vicki Chenoweth, Val Frink, Anna McCluskey, Derek Johnson, and at number 1,
And top listing units for teams, we have Tom and Lori Kittleman, Landman, and at number 1, dun, 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 Love Legacy.
and in Federal Way, we have the Serial Team, the Ranch Real Estate Group, and at number 1, Goldfinch Group. That is Hannah Lee and Stephen Chong.
And for top listing units for groups, we have the Hazinga team, Rosie Rourke team, and coming in number 1, we have the results.
And in Federal Way, we have Heritage Home Partners, My Puget Sound Homes, and at number 1, Cox Tennessee.
Top written units for Kent going from the bottom to the top. We've got David Baginski, Josh Moynihan, Lauren Alvarez, Lori Strickland, Carly Hendrickson, Tia Odell, Miss Hillary, and coming in at number 1, we have Brian Fana.
And for Federal Way, we have Val Frink, Nicole Chang, Stuart Stedman, Vicki Chenoweth, Larissa Butler, Anthony Prado, Michelle Wallace, and at number 1, Derek Johnson.
Top written units for Kent 4 teams. We have Tom and Lori Kittleman, Love Legacy Land. And at number 1, we have Landman.
And in Federal Way, we have Sarah Robbins and Associates, the Ranch Real Estate Group, and at number 1, Serial Team.
And group for written units in Kent, we have the Hazinga team, the Rosie Rourke team, and taking number 1 this year. Oh, there we go. The results team.
And in Federal Way, we have Nicole Larson Real Estate Network, Cox Gibson Real Estate Group, and at number 1, the Heritage Home.
And top closed volume for individuals, we have Eric Kai, Brian Manauez, Lori Strickland, David Baginski, Miss Dee Dee Scott, Julie Gunn, Brian Pham, and number 1 is Tim McQuarrie.
Federal Way, we have Chris Archer, Nadia Scheffler, Ashley Wolfslegel, Mike Bernard, Caitlin Gleason, Larissa Butler, Dawn Turnipseed, and at number 1, Anthony
Prado. Very nice. And top closed volume in Kent for teams, we have TPG Realty, Landman Inc., and at number 1, we have Tom and Lori Kittleman. Very nice.
And in Federal Way, we have Denise Christopherson and Associates, the Serial Team, and the Ranch.
And top closed volume in groups in Kent, we have the Results team, the Hazinga team, and number 1, we have the Rosie Rourke team.
And in Federal Way, we have the Sark Real Estate Group, the Cox Gibson Group, and at number 1, Team Red.
And to close out our awards, we have the top profit share earners from both market centers. Which one does go top to bottom? Bottom to top? Let's see which one. In Kent, we have Emmett and Medina. There we go. Thank you. Oh,
Wow, lots of good energy in the room and outside the room too. You guys are out busy working. I love it. Just a heads up, nothing to do about it right now. We will have some changes to our command system later on this summer. We're going to be experiencing a system update, and we're going to be establishing a new category for referrals. This is something that the DOL is going to be requiring. As we get closer to the date of the upgrade in the event, then we will provide more training and information. We honestly don't even have the materials yet to do that. So I just wanted to let you know it's on the horizon, but nothing to worry about at the moment. In the meantime, remember, for Washington state law and our own policy that follows that law, all executed documents need to be submitted to our command platform within 2 days of execution. That means when it's signed around. We are still in an audit, so we are, we have kind of a hypersensitive focus on these items right now, but this is a constant. This hasn't changed and it won't change. So please get your documents in. And we know you want to get paid on time, and we want to pay you on time. So get your documents in on time. Remember that Form 41, the buyer broker service agreement, is required for all buyer transactions. Form 11 referral form is required for referrals. Once these are signed, and I'm trying to send out reminders as I sign these referral forms, but I'm usually not always, the last person signing on the document. So when your signed around referral forms are complete, then if you're in Federal Waste, send them off to your MCA team at this email. And if you're in Kent, send them off to Mountains and Sound Commission team. That way we get money in and we know where to send it. Otherwise, sometimes we have a check and we have to broadcast out, hey, anybody looking for money from this resource? So again, we're focused on getting you guys paid in a timely fashion. So, now you said, did you have something else? Oh, you're just waving at me.
I wanted money.
Oh, you want money? You want money. If we have extra money, yeah. Okay, thanks, you guys.
Next up, we have the market of the moment with Dennis and Chris.
Boom.
Come on, trouble, let's go. Oh, he's over there. Fabulous.
Oh, great. Yeah,
Okay.
you're on the camera. Guys, these were, what? Oh, sorry, top 200. But it was interesting because these are stats from, sorry, I'm lost on this. I don't know where's this start? Oh, there it is. Thank you. I can't see anything. All right, so this first slide is unemployment. If you look at this, look back to 2009 and 10, 9.3 and 9.6%, we're down to 3.7. This is one of the things that they track because the employment is there's so much employment available that they're trying to find out, how do we stop this machine that's rolling, that the inflation numbers are getting so high. This employment is what's keeping everybody in money, which is the reason so many people are spending so much money, which is why inflation is taking off. So go ahead and go to the next slide. This is a monthly unemployment stat. You can see it's super low.
If you want rates to actually drop, you want that
To go up.
You want more people out of work. So there's less money to spend.
Well, talk to the Fed. Talk to the Fed. But, yeah, the economy's too strong for them to drop rates, is basically what it is. Right? Okay, next, please. Jeez. These are quarterly GDP numbers. Am I right? Yes? So if you look at this, that went down from 3.3 last quarter to 1.6 in quarter one of 2024. That's probably good news because they want to slow down the economy so that they can then lower interest rates.
The goal is 2%.
Yep.
So to see at 1.6 is actually a good thing.
And next. Here we are with inflation, which is what they're trying to get down. But if you look at these numbers, I mean, in 2020, it was, I don't even know what it was low. 1.1. Under 2%.
It was 1.8.
1.8. And then it went up, shot up to like 9%, that top blue dot at the very top. Now it's down to 3.4 and 3.9. Each one is the 3.4 is CPI, which includes energy and food. And the yellow is core CPI, which excludes energy and food. Okay.
Why is the target 2%?
That's what the feds want it to be.
It's more sustainable.
If things are going up more than 2% per year, then things start getting out of, that's when inflation is going out of control.
Stop spending and start investing.
Exactly.
It's either that or we ask the government to stop spending money, but
That's never gonna.
yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work.
I know I can control myself. I can't control that.
This is your monthly inflation markers. And then again, this needs to get down below 2%, is what they've said before they'll lower interest rates. Okay. So we're at Not what I said.
Yeah, sorry.
Debt balance. Let's go to the next one, please. Debt balance. Look at this.
Non-housing debt is in the purple. That's, by the way, this is in the trillions. And in the blue, you have housing debt. That's upward trending. However, I also read the St. Louis Fed put out numbers that were an all-time high for home equity. We're at 32.6 trillion. Of that, 30 trillion is accessible.
Meaning they haven't taken the money out, but it's available for them. Next slide, please.
They could do it and still maintain an 80-20.
This is non-housing debt balance, and this is the scary numbers to me. Student loan debt, look at that. The yellow. I guess it's gold. Orange, whatever. It looks gold to me every time.
That's gold.
Look at the credit card debt. It's over $1 trillion for the first time ever. So to me, what I'm reading into this is a lot of people are not keeping up with their debts. And they're starting to use their credit cards to stay on top of things.
Right, because they have 1.6 trillion in auto loans. And it's student
Yeah,
debt.
1.6 trillion in auto loans. Yes, Pam.
What's it that Gary Keller says, if you have a Land Rover?
And a landlord, you're doing it wrong.
Yes, you're doing it wrong.
Amen.
Check yourself.
They've always spent on credit cards, it's just they've always been able to tap the equity in their home.
Right.
And nobody wants to tap the equity in their home at 7%.
That's right.
They can't afford that, so now they're just stuck. So there's going to be people who will have
Well,
to sell their home.
Or they don't own a home,
Or they don't, but
which is probably more likely because the home equity lines are gonna be way cheaper than the credit card loans.
Yeah, because they're charging that is a mortgage.
I can tell you there's a lot of activity of people wanting to refinance, but they don't qualify at current rates.
Ooh,
So for you that are in this room, this is why you really need to stay in touch with your clients. Because if they don't qualify at current rates and they are drowning in debt, they're gonna have one choice. And that is to sell their home.
They're looking for money. There's actually another stat. It jumped to 3.6%, 401k hardship withdrawals over the last year. That's up from 2.6%. It doesn't sound like much.
It went up to what?
3.6% of people are tapping their 401k in the form of a hardship withdrawal.
Yeah, could it be part of our down payment?
no idea.
For a hardship.
It's a hardship of some sort. Next slide, please.
What question?
They want to refinance because they're so much in debt to be able to pay off their bills, but they can't do it because they're
They don't qualify
at the current rates.
Right.
At the higher
There's a
interest
lot, there's
rate.
a lot of people that are living in a house right now that if they tried to buy that same house today, they don't qualify. Right, so if you have a payment of like $2,000, you have a ton of equity. But you qualified for 2,000, now you have 2,000 additional debt with a car, it's credit cards or whatever. Now you don't qualify, even if you paid that off, that mortgage is now gonna be $4,000 instead of $2,000 a month, and maybe they don't qualify.
Thank you.
Let's check out the savings rate. I wonder what happened in 2020 and 2021.
We don't speak of it.
Nobody was going anywhere. Nobody was doing anything, so they were able to save 20, what is that, 25% almost?
And they were getting $400 checks to show up in the mail.
Yeah, that was a smart move, wasn't it?
Right?
Now look at the savings rate. They're at 3.6%.
Nearly the lowest it's ever been. Which is why people are having conversations with Greg and Debbie about refining to get some cash, because the equity's there, but they can't refi.
Which is why we talk about over and over and over, 3 to 6 months of savings for emergency purposes, for not only yourself, but for your business. Next slide.
Which is really weird because people are still consuming If you go to Target or the mall or cars, they're just buying all this stuff and they are not saving, and then they're trying to tap into their house to pay off Uber Eats. That makes zero sense. People are not making smart choices.
It takes something a little stronger than that to happen before they'll change their behavior. Something like 08.
Oh my God. No.
Let's not speak of that.
We don't speak of that.
That's what I'm talking about.
We don't speak of that ever.
Oh my
Next
God.
page.
Never ever.
Hey, we need more inventory. That's what.
Yes, Pam.
Can I add something to that?
Yes.
So I was in a room full of really amazing
Come on up.
owner operators about 3 weeks ago that represented 7% of all the homes sold in America. So just think about it, just a room about 200 of us, and between all of us, we represent that amount of home sales. So they had a guy come out, talk to us from 1000 Watt, who does all this research on consumer behavior and whatnot. And one of the things that he was talking to us about was value, and we might get into that a little bit today, but what he said was this, he said, people don't hire you to sell a house. They don't hire you to show them houses. What do they hire you for? Specifically, what do they hire you for? For advice. Advice about what?
Their investments.
And what about their investments? Absolutely.
How to grow.
Getting there, getting there, getting
How to,
there.
yeah, what are, how to grow.
They hire you for 2 reasons.
They don't want to overspend.
To mitigate risk in 2 areas of their life, emotionally and financially. That is why they hire you. They do not hire you to sell them a house
Or fine.
or find them a house. That was really clear in the research. And by the way, they will pay you to do those 2 things, and they are super cool with paying you what you charge, as long as you do those 2 things. Think about that. Risk mitigation, emotionally,
Financially.
financially.
This is why automation and AI can never truly replace us.
Yeah.
Because of the heartbeat in the transaction. Computers can't negotiate.
Okay, home sales. Look at this slide because it's pretty interesting. Those 3 years, 06, 07, and 08, look at the decline. And if you look at the decline of 2021, 22, and 23, they look really similar, don't they? And the 4.1 million sales. The exact same number we had in 08 last year. So it's a unit wide, we were way down. Who was around in 08? Who sold houses back then? And that sucked. That was tough.
We tried.
It was tough. Yep. Here's the good news. When you see that kind of a downward trend, the upward trend's coming. It's on its way. Pam, again,
I know.
She's got good input.
you gotta stand up. You gotta turn around. You gotta be really loud.
We know you hate being up there. I just think that the skill, the level of skill you have, we had to develop in 08 for all of us out there, was intense.
Yeah.
Did any of us really want to do it? No, but if we didn't, we wouldn't be here now. So this is the same opportunity for you guys. This is full on combat sport. Get your skill level up, know what to say, and understand those other 2 things. It's risk mitigation and it's financial and emotional. Those 2 things. So if that like gotta like to solve problems with people, not for them, but with them. I think that's a good takeaway, right? That you do it with them, not for them. And you empower them to make better decisions so they will change their behavior in the future. Because the way they behave right now is going to get them tapping into their they're gonna spit it like what and cover costs, right? So it's a cycle. We can help people as long as we are smart enough to help them. I'm sure every single person in this room is smart enough to help someone, right? Yeah. Say yes.
next slide. Okay, now we're going.
You can see where we're at now, right around 72.
20,000 less units. You wonder why last year was a little bit tougher. Now you know.
This goes all the way back to 2021, so you can kind of see the trajectory of where we happened. And there we go. Anything else to say on that?
No. That's it.
We all made it through 23, so good for us.
We all made it. I thought this was interesting. Home sales monthly. These are 22, 2023, and 2024. We are below 2023's numbers. Everything out of it. Does anyone feel like we're coming out of it? Anybody? Some? Well, we'll see what the numbers look like for April. I haven't got those numbers yet, but I'm gonna say that I think they're gonna be better.
I'm surprised by this slide.
In April for the condos, at least in all of Pierce County, it's all the way up to almost 2 months of supply, like 2.6 is 85% increase. Market time is increasing still, it's like 37 to 38 days.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing like the traffic kind of slow down. I had 2 open houses, at pretty much a brand new condo, 0 people both days. And then I also sit in a brand new build, this is out in Tacoma, Spanaway area. Built by 40% on Fridays or Saturdays.
Wow.
Literally like back to back, you might get 1 or 2 people represents 5 people. So the builders kind of like, price is it, you start to have all of those conversations, but it's interesting, market. I think the interest rates hold a lot of people at bay.
Yep.
I think strategy.
That's the music.
Too depressing.
Get him out of here. We love you, Howard. We love you.
That's my DJ. The truck's coming next.
Oh, God.
That's a doorstep, right?
Yeah, these are national. These are national numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm helping a client buy in Arizona right now. I've got a client buying in Texas right now. You talk to the agents down there. What do you want? You want a 2-1 buy down? You want a price? So we're a little spoiled up here. So when everybody complains about our government regulations on building, remember that those regulations are keeping from expanding like some other parts of the country, which keeps the value of our houses elevated because you can't just go put a house wherever you want in this area.
There are a couple places around the country that are actually in a buyer's market right now.
There's 36 houses for sale in my best friend's neighborhood in outside of Austin.
Outside of Austin.
In her neighborhood.
So conversely, with the sales being down, though, if you look at what the prices, the average, median or average, is continuing to escalate in county. I don't know about Pierce County, but
Yep.
in county,
Oh,
yeah, it's continuing to escalate.
next slide.
This is closed sales by month for the Northwest MLS for 2022 versus 2023. So you can see every single month from 2022 to 2023,
We're less.
a little bit down.
Yeah.
A little bit,
Just a little bit.
20%.
Okay, let's move on. I don't want to look at that anymore.
Let's play that music again.
Closed sales by year. Yeah. They don't have an update for 2024 yet, but yeah.
And
Yes.
we're below, nationally, we're below what we were in 2023. So in 2024, we're below what 2023 was. So we're projected to do less than that.
Wow.
Now, is that happening here? I'm not sure it is, because our numbers are picking way up right
We're
now.
way better.
We're way better than everyone else.
Yeah.
We're lucky, that's all. Yeah.
I think the point of, you guys, I don't know if all of you remember this, but Gary used to say that we're winning so,
We're losing
we're
so
losing
slowly
so slowly
that we think we're winning.
that we think we're winning. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Gradually and then suddenly, could it be that we are the opposite? At some point we will experience this. So what would the opposite of that? We are
Winning so slowly we think we're losing.
Man, I feel that.
Yeah.
I hope that's what it is.
I'm just putting it out there. That's what my trickery. But I think that if we go by how we feel versus the numbers, we're gonna get sideways, right? And so what Tony Robbins said to us at Family Reunion is after winter comes what? Spring. What goes up? Then to go back up again, right? And so we don't know exactly where we are in all of this, but really positioning yourself to take advantage of the market when it starts to go like this again. And how would you know if you're taking advantage of that right now? If you feel like it's possible you're losing, if you're doing what you know you need to do, what would be the evidence that you'd be looking for? You're filling your pipeline. Filling your pipeline. Anything else?
The lead generating consistently daily. You're
Yeah.
focusing
You're
on
writing
the lead
offers,
measures,
you're
right?
writing offers, they may not be going together, but you're writing offers. That's a good sign.
Your database is engaging with you.
Yep.
Right, so looking for those things, you might not have the transaction count that you really want, but if you're focusing on winning over the long haul, you may feel like you're losing. My caution to you is don't quit. Don't quit.
Now is when we need to develop a little bit of grit.
Yeah.
Right? To be willing to do the mundane and the boring consistently, to know that in the long run, it's gonna work on our behalf. We always hear that you earn mind share in markets, or not mind share, you earn market share during these times, but you guys don't realize that you don't see that until we're on the other side of it. Right? So we've got to keep perspective where it belongs, focus on what we can control, and do consistent activities day over day, and just get used to the boring.
Throw a song in there every once in a while.
Next. These are home prices, annual home prices. You can see that we're 9% above this green line is a 4%. That's what they hope to see. And historically, that's been the trend line is 4%. You can see we dipped way below it during the Great Recession. And it took 10 years or so, 12 years actually, I think, to catch up. Now we're above it by about 9%, but we're not 21% above it like we were in 06 or 5 or whatever year that was. Yeah. Next.
This is average sales price for the Northwest MLS through April of this year. So we may have less home sales, but we're also blessed with a very nice average price point. That's for the entire MLS, not King County.
Yeah,
Entire
there's some slow counties. That was it Grace Harbor, that was at the ocean, Ocean Shores. That's way down. So, I mean, on average though, look at the MLS, it's nuts. Next, please. Average sales price, you see it's up back to that, I can't see. 2021 or
Yeah, this goes back to 2021.
Just going back further.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
In 2022, if I remember right, it was April is when things started to, you could really see it and feel it. If you had any listings, they were just going nothing. Yeah.
Well, didn't rates go up about that time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Next. Home prices monthly, the same story. This is nationally again. Nationally, the average is only 393,000. Yeah, if we could find some houses for that, that'd be amazing. Next. There's your annual inventory. Again, this is a national number. You can see it's going in the right direction, starting to get some inventory.
Next. This is the Northwest MLS months of inventory by year, so you can see where we are at for active and closed listings. All by the year.
We're going in the right direction, but we're still nowhere near what it was in 2013.
If you look at 2018 to 2020 also, I mean, let's not think that those weren't very normal years.
That was all seller. Well, look at this whole 10-year span was a seller's market.
So
Yeah.
how do you compare your seller, so you know that inventory is increasing, or you should be looking at the micro markets within that?
Yep.
And I'm sure people who use the help, where maybe in their neighborhood, it isn't there yet, but it's heading that direction, and you list, and then 2 weeks later, the houses pop on market. How do you set your sellers up to see that future? So
Yeah, so
to
you
get them ready.
show them this kind of a market, this kind of graph to show them that we're building inventory and that you're going to stay with them. We're going to talk to them every week about what's new in the market coming up in their neighborhood. What's their competition look like? What's gone pending and why? You just go through it with them
Where
again.
did you get this though, so that you could use this? So I'm still uploading them.
This is from the Northwest MLS. Can we have them uploaded though?
Yeah, we'll upload this.
Nicole, it's all about expectations, right? And over communication with your sellers.
I think that was, yeah, having those conversations so that they're prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're almost hedging because it's growing in inventory. You're hedging to say, look, this keeps going at this pace. There's a good chance we may have to lower price if we don't get it sold quickly. Next.
New listings by year for the Northwest MLS specifically. You can see 2023 is down.
Yeah. Our average is 6,800 a month. Or was. We don't have 2024 in there. No. Next.
But you also want to, so the question you just asked, if you show them what the trends are year over year, less listings in January, more in February, more in March, more in April, May, June, if you show them what the peak of the market is every year, regardless of if they're up or down, they can visually see that if they wait until June or July to list their house, that's the peak of the market. And when we have more inventory, and we also have less buyer demand because people are out vacationing and enjoying the sun, sometimes they're just not thinking about buying a house. So the consumers still have a mindset of the summer is the best time to sell. And if you can show them with graphs information, typically best time to sell is between March and May. Our highest closed price point every year is June, which means it went under contract in May, it closed in June, and the numbers stay stagnant, and then it dies down after that. So if you can show people that, are they gonna question your pricing skills when you have a very detailed conversation?
Saying it and showing it are two different things, right? You can say it all you want. They're not gonna listen to you.
Right.
If you can show it, different story.
That's being like a master in their industry, right? Knowing the trends, being able to articulate it. When we talk about value proposition, that's part of it. You guys need to be able to educate your clients for the now transaction and the future. That's awesome.
Again, this is pending sales by year. Move on to the next one. This doesn't include 2024. Inventory monthly. This includes 2024, at least 3 months of 2024. You can see, again, it is building. It's starting to get bigger. And compared to 2022, huge difference. Next. New construction. So this doesn't go back. These are monthly. So what happened was during the Great Recession, a lot of builders went out of business. I don't know if everyone remembers that, but a lot of them did. And so they fell way behind in production. They needed to be at that 1 million mark per year. And we're like 5 million homes under where we need to be. So for them to catch up, it's gonna take a long time of being above that million, 1 million houses per year. Next. Mortgage rates. Everybody's freaking out because it's what, 7 what does that say? 7.81, 7.79, whatever it is. 7.81 over this time period from 71 till 2023 is the norm. But the problem is the last 12 to 15 years have been way below that. And that's why so many people are locked into this. I need to cap 4% or 3%. You're not going to see it, I don't think. Next, please. Yes.
I don't know if this is the right time to ask this question. I'm getting a lot of kickback when I take that graph with me. I'm getting a lot of kickback, well, houses aren't worth what they are worth, that. And I kind of got a, right, and so their thing is, well, they weren't worth that much, so it's easy to have that.
You mean they were less expensive back
Yeah,
then,
thank you.
but it's all relative. So here's how you
Totally.
have that conversation. When I bought my first house, I was making $7.50 an hour.
Still do that in Idaho, by
At
the way.
that, yeah, at that literal, at that, when I bought my first house in the 80s, like, whatever. And rates were 12 to 15%. It's all relative.
Yeah, you didn't make that kind of money
No.
back then.
So you're just
No.
going.
I mean,
Okay.
right
There's
now,
a-
minimum wage is
I don't think we have the chart
$50
with us, but there's a
right?
few different affordability charts that show
And those.
where we're at. Yes. Yep.
So you mentioned that you were high on about what our interest rates are right now. And we're looking at this graph historically from 71 to, what is that?
2023. Oh, here?
Well, no, I'm looking at it, right, 71 to
Here?
2000 was the last time it was above that, and for the last 20 years, it's been below.
Yep.
So to me, it makes sense why people are upset.
Yep.
You have 30 years on one side, but 20 years on the other. So how do you respond to somebody when they say that? Like, great, I'm glad that was like that in 71, last 20 years, it's been under this.
Well, in the first time,
What's your
buyers
response
needed
to that?
Did they buy during those 20
I'm
years?
just saying, but we're
Right.
we're telling people to bring this back as a reason to be like, this is the norms, but is it actually? the
Well,
norm?
historically, it is,
You know what I
it
mean?
is
So
the
I'm
norm,
I'm
yeah.
trying to play devil's advocate,
Yeah.
is that actually the norm? We
Well,
have to go all the way
historically,
back to
1990,
71 for us to be able to say that's the norm.
But you also look at it that the rates always go down. I mean,
No, I
history
get
shows,
that.
no, but as your devil's advocate, I'm coming back at you.
Yeah.
So it's literally, the rates go down. Like I said, I bought my first house, it was 12 to 8, wasn't 18, but it was 12%. And it went down to 10. I was excited, right? And then it went to 5 and I'm like, oh God, it's a party. But I mean, it does go down. I mean, history shows that it goes down.
It also could go up though, based on.
But if you bought it when it was lower, and you're like, hey, look, it went up, so now you're ahead.
But you also show them the median sales price over time. And you have a conversation about them that says, if you go, that they're, while the rate might come down, may or may not come down, the appreciation is happening.
Yes.
And look what this same house that we're looking at now at 800,000 was 600,000. So regardless of what the rate is, somebody earned $200,000 worth of equity. Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, do you want that equity to be in your pocket? Or do you want it to be in the seller's pocket? Because if you're going to buy a house, you're going to pay whatever the price is. So you can wait, you can continue to wait, but in 75 years of them tracking real estate, there's only been 7 years of decline. So people are waiting for this great boom, whatever, like they're waiting for the market to implode, but that happens once every blue moon. Otherwise, the equity and the appreciation is happening on a daily basis.
Yeah, and they can't argue with the rates. I mean, If they have cash, they can just pay cash, they don't have to worry about it, but they don't. So they have to deal with what the rates are. It doesn't matter what the rates are. If rates come down, what's gonna happen with prices?
They're gonna go up.
They're
Well, you're
they're
gonna
gonna
get way more
skyrocket,
buyers and more.
especially when there's only 3 months supply of inventory or less.
I was trying to circle back because she asked, like, what do I say? I'm stumped when somebody challenges this. And so to come back to that, to maybe give you something, one of the things that we like to say is, great question. And I've never had a buyer who's like, oh, dear, I'm so mad I bought that house 5 years ago. Right? But we do have people who say, oh, damn it, I should have bought that house. But you're shooting all of these things, right?
I'd like to say something. I was always buying houses, selling houses. I'd like to answer your question. So I just I'm new to the real estate industry, but I can truly say the house that I bought, first of all, the third house I bought in 2016, my interest rate was left. Okay, I wait on no rate. So now it's 2.5 interest rate, and now I have more equity in my home. So now I can present that to somebody else and tell them, guess what, 8? Guess what, 7? So big deal. Guess what? I can stay in my house and I can refinance, and my house is gonna be worth more because that's what I did. I don't look at the rates, what it is, because I know I can get it down from 11 point to 2.5 now. Come on.
Well, and take the rate and translate it to their buying power.
Yes.
What does it mean for a monthly payment? Because that's what's important. They don't really know what a percentage in interest rate means, translated to what is their day-to-day life.
We are totally unable to control what the rates are. So to me, it's almost irrelevant. Can you afford the payment? And in an
Or not.
inflationary environment, what is the best hedge against the inflation?
A house.
This is, to your point, Chris, this is exactly where we all need. We need to drill down into this particular client's situation. If you go in there with the, oh, well, I bought a house and paid 17% or whatever, that falls on deaf ears, okay? Because if you look at where incomes are today versus back then, it used to be a home price was about 4 times your income. Now in King County, if you look at the median home price and the median income, it is over 8 times. So the problem is income has not increased at the same level that home prices have increased. And when you look at the NAR stats, it's interesting, but it doesn't really help us here, because if you go to places like Kansas or Oklahoma or some of these places where home prices just do this. You could buy a house 20 years and you got 4% appreciation over 20 years. You didn't even make up pay for the house, okay? In the north, if you're buying in King County, look at King County. And we need to say, hey, here's why home prices outpace what you see in the media. And we need to educate those people, because you're right, rents are gonna go up, home prices are gonna go up in this area, but they might not in Ellensburg, right? So you can't use an all-encompassing stat for every single conversation.
That's right.
Greg, do you also talk to people about if they're selling their house and buying something else, they're selling their house, they're capitalizing on getting the most equity out of it, and then they can pay off those 29%, 21%, 16% credit cards that they've charged up the beginning. And even though they might be getting a higher rate on the purchase, it's gonna come out in the wash, because hopefully they're getting rid of all of those high interest credit cards. And then what their monthly debt is a better picture.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, there's people that have a lot of equity. They might be sitting on $500,000 in equity. So you get to cash that. Right? Maybe now's the time that you don't need to have a 3,500 square foot home or have left the house or get ready to. There's lots of solutions out there, but we have to be solution oriented. Otherwise, look, does anybody think there's a shortage of real estate agents?
Well, that stat's coming up here in a second.
But there's a lot of them, right? So we have to be better.
These are the mortgage rates monthly from January of 2022. That's a pretty big run up in what, 2 years?
That's double. And pricing went up.
And prices are not going down. I mean, if they're waiting to buy, I don't care what their rates are. They need to get in now, lock something in. Rates will eventually come down. They'll be able to refinance it, but they can at least lock in their price now.
I don't know if you guys have been talking to first-time home buyers or the younger generation or people that don't own yet. Their big concern is if they don't have a home, they are left behind and they're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
They're screwed and they know it.
Yep.
It's hard to argue with them, by the
I'll tell
way.
you what, if you're young, if you're young, you're a young parent, or you're thinking about having kids, think about buying a rental house, maybe 2 or 3 if you got 3 kids. Because your kids might be living in your rental house someday.
Or your house.
If you eventually want them at your house, maybe you want them at your house.
Is there another slide? There's no number.
It's gonna show.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go forward.
So
There we go. Look at the agent count, the end of the year of 2023, just in the Northwest MLS. That's a lot of agents. In 06, I think it was 06, we were at 21,000 agents. So, yeah. And it got down to, does anyone remember? I want to say it was like 16,000. It dropped almost in half. So big number. Now, there was you remember, what's the number that we've lost so far this year in the Northwest MLS?
1,161.
1,161 less agents right now than we had at the end of the year.
through April,
So, yeah, as of April,
The end of-
April compared to April.
that 250 a month.
How many agents are, doing 5 transactions or less? I don't know.
Like, averages 2. Wasn't it 80%?
Yeah.
We'll get
Yeah,
to,
2
uh,
transactions per agent is the average.
Really a year? That average, though,
In the
I would
Northwest.
really like a median on that number, because there's so many, like, property management people have to have a license, and they don't sell, and they never will. They only have it for their job, so I wanna know who's like an active agent and what that number is. About 8,000.
How many agents?
8,000 agents, 7 agents producing the house. But I feel like that's a
Well, the
rotation
NAR
of
stat, was like 4 sales last year. National Association of Realtor, NAR stat,
Okay.
it's 4.5 or something like that.
4.89.
Oh, here I am guessing. I guess we have a stat for that. But if you look at that, that's since 1990. That's the lowest number since 1990. Or below, way beyond that, I'm sure. Yes.
Because there's so many. In the workshop that I went to, the 1,000-watt guy said that every consumer knows between 13 and 17 agents. Knows between 13 and 17 agents.
So what's the importance of knowing that?
Right, nobody's an agent, they know of them, but, out of those.
Who's top of mind is the question.
Exactly. The only one that's been in front of them consistently over time is the only one they'll remember when they need it.
So that
They've
would,
got a lot of choices if you're not that person.
that comes back to the C2C program. Touching them consistently so they know who their agent is. Go ahead.
Or shopping cart ads.
No.
I'm gonna do it one day.
Even though the number was super low, this is the market volume per agent. $950,000.
That's nationally. Go to the next one. Sold volume for 2023 for the entire MLS, 47,710,717,000.
That's volume.
Good volume. Next. Average sold volume per agent.
Under 1.5.
And what was our average price point, Chris?
Our average price point was
550, 560.
in our MLS, or in our
Our
offices.
office.
That's crazy.
Is this our MLS right here?
Yeah, this is the Northwest MLS.
So what's our office? Is this average?
This is a sales rate.
No, you've done it.
Oh, last month for Kent, it was like 7 something.
Kent was way up.
And then Houston was 5.
That's like
Was
three
it 525 or something?
We had quite a few multi-million dollar. Yeah, for Kent, that was high.
Nice. Next. Closed units for agents.
Wow.
Woo!
Excited too.
Next.
Yeah, let's
Keep
go.
Where's the music?
Here's the crazy part about those numbers. You've got teams that are killing it, they're making as much as they've ever made. Maybe their volumes or their units aren't quite as high, but they're selling a ton of houses. And so that would help bring that average up, right? So there's a lot of agents that didn't do anything last year. So what are we looking at, Chris?
This is King County market dynamics for supply and demand for number of units for sale, under contract, and sold.
For sales in red, under contracts blue, and sold is in the green.
This goes through April. Same thing for Pierce County. That was for King County, by the way.
That's all we got.
Yay.
That was
Depressing? Slightly?
Wildly.
Wildly?
For people who don't understand how to use and find statistics, the MLS class is awesome. I say this every time we talk about stats. If you want to know how to be able to pull some of these stats or more of these stats, take the MLS class. It's 3 hours, very well spent. And you need to take it more than, you need to take it more than once.
Could we get them to come here?
I have tried to put that together with our team.
Let's make it happen.
You're looking at the wrong person.
Okay, so it can happen though, is what you're saying.
These stats?
Yeah, those slides aren't MLS though.
Is this one, is this
That's
broken metrics?
That's broken metrics, but yeah, they have something like it.
Alright.
So I am doing a special thing today, and we're going to be doing a little interview with a new agent. Chris, if you would come up. This is Chris Kirchner, for those of you who haven't met him. So Chris came into our brokerage January 22nd of this year. So if you're doing the math, that is significantly less than 6 months. So just a couple of questions for him. How old are you? I don't know.
So actually, I was telling people I'm 24, but I'm not yet. I'm 23. I forgot how old I was. So
I asked because we have agents from all age brackets, and some of them are very new, some of them are coming from second career, and a lot of the time the new younger agents are worried about their sphere and who they can sell to. So that brings us to the next question. How big was your starting sphere?
probably, I'd say I had maybe solid 40 people
Okay,
that I
so
would
only,
consider.
only 40 people out of the magic 201 number that we are striving for. And the reason I bring that up specifically is that approximately June 3rd, Chris is going to cap. So that's hitting the pavement every single weekend. So the question I have for you now is, where did the rest of those clients come from? Where did the people that you have been doing your transactions with come from?
Open houses. That's it.
Right. So how many open houses a week are you usually doing?
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
And
So,
then what do you think your biggest challenge has been?
staying organized and developing, a follow-up plan with everyone.
Okay.
I'm learning as I go.
All right. And then do you have any big advice for any new agent who wants to up-level their business?
Yeah, I'd say the main thing is being available for people. I always pick up the phone. I met a guy on Sunday at an open house who wanted to he wanted to view a property, but he didn't have an agent. I took him there right after I left the open house.
Wow.
And we wrote up an offer yesterday. So always being available, being passionate and just listening to people, I think is the most important thing, and listening with intention, you know, and solving their problems.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
No, that's it.
Well,
Wait,
I'd like,
wait, I want to know how many deals, okay, you started January 22nd.
Yes.
How many deals have you closed or got pending since then?
8 are pending, or sorry, 4 are pending, and I have 4 closed.
When you talk about your open house, can you talk about kind of what you're targeting? Like, do you target a specific neighborhood or price range or new on the market, older? Like, how are
So,
you
yeah.
picking that?
I'll pick a Friday open house on Wednesday. And it's always a new listing. And then I pick my Saturday and Sundays on Thursday, you know, and I just I check the Zillow counts and see how many people save them or like them and how many people are viewing them. And I try and be the first person to call the agent. So just due diligence.
Yeah. Are you doing all like single family only big condos or?
Single family only. And another thing, I think there's for new agents, I think there's a lot of different ways to do things, and there's not a single right way. So I think it's important to just kind of find your thing and push on it hard and just learn as much as you can. Ask as many questions. There's a lot of amazing people here. I bother Jay every single day, and everyone's here to answer. So. Oh yeah, and a shout out to Tim McQuarrie. He's been amazing. Thais is awesome too. You know, I wrote my first couple offers at probably 10:30 at night at Tim's house, and yeah, it's super awesome. So,
Chris,
yes,
you're specific about what you're choosing for an open house, it looks like.
yes.
What do you do to prepare for that open house?
So, and that's kind of where it comes into everyone does things differently. I think that it's effective to, you know, people make flyers and cards and do a bunch of stuff. I don't do anything. I bring my laptop and I bring a notepad, and I just try and be personal with people and listen to them. A lot of people just want to be heard. So yeah, I just listen to people.
Which is amazing, because if you think about it, a lot of people hand out their cards thinking they're gonna get a call. You'll never get one.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's going.
You
to the
have to make an
garbage can.
impression on people.
Just go into the garbage can. You ask questions, you find out their name and number, you find out what they're looking for, and then you follow up on
Yeah, absolutely.
them. I know that because my office is right outside where you sit every day. And I get calling all day long.
Yeah.
so I think that actually brings me to the point that I just wanted to make. Chris is in here every single day, brings his lunchbox, treats this as if it's his job, thinks to himself, is my boss going to fire me? Which is himself.
Yeah.
So, and I just really wanted to say thank you for coming into our office, and thank you for our time together that we've got to spend. And I look forward to continuing and working with you and watching you continue as an agent. And
I think we had 2 other hands up too.
okay,
Oh.
well,
Thank you.
I was hoping. I don't know. I'm not in charge of the meeting. All right.
All right.
He's clapping. All
Thank
right. Thank
you.
you, everybody.
So today we're discussing the promise and what that means. At the end of the day, the question that we are asking is, when you guys joined and chose to join Pam and Dennis and the ranches, what did we promise? What value did we promise? Are we delivering? And do we have opportunity at the end of the day? So we want to make sure this is an open forum. We're going to write down where we're winning, where we have room for improvement and opportunity, and how we can potentially bridge that gap. I know, I feel like the energy just went, ooh. Okay, you felt it too? I was like, oh, I'm having a heart attack. Yep.
I think the thing that doesn't get talked about.
Can you be a little louder? I'm so sorry.
I think the thing that doesn't get talked about as much in the promise is how your personal life is greatly impacted by being in this environment. And I would love for us to share those stories more, because it really isn't just about the production. That's a bonus to the things that I've been able to change
environment here. It's been an incredible journey.
Love that. How can we sum that up for Emily to write that?
Area of opportunity would be to have the people here tell their story more and get it out to everyone else.
I love that. What else? What makes RBN specifically different? What is it that you guys enjoy?
I will say as a promise, I don't honestly even remember who the team lead was when I joined, but I do remember the promise when other agents I was talking to, it's just the amount of training and how much they pour into this office pours into other agents and agents training other agents, and I think that has definitely been upheld for the 7 years that I've been here.
Just culture and open door policy. Is it any, even other kid in the offices, it just doesn't feel the same.
Yep.
Right, so.
I would say the amount that we do give back to the community, it was like barely, it was skimmed over, and I feel like that would attract a lot more like-minded and selfless people.
So telling that story a little more, we have opportunity to let people know what we do.
Yeah, our impact, well, yeah, just the impact on the community, like the auctions that we do. I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley.
What we do, one thing that has kept me here is it doesn't matter if you are new, have been in this business forever, the amount of compassion from our leadership is there for whoever.
And a healthy level of kick butt. There's a balance. Dan.
I talked a little bit with Melissa about this the other day. Oh, you forgot already? When Cheryl and I came over, it was something that was very evident. And what Dennis and Pam have created is a sense of family. We're here to help each other. We're not here to exclude each other. And I will not compete against another agent. I will help you.
Yeah. Got two.
I also think that that's a little bit of an opportunity, because I feel like sometimes there's those of us who are loudmouths, such as myself, everyone knows me because I talk a lot. And so I think there's lots of people who are included in the family, but for some reason, there's people who don't feel included in the family, and then they might feel a little isolated. And this is can be a lonely business, so
I'm curious,
inclusion is important.
do you have any ideas or solutions to help alleviate that?
Lots of times when I hear that, I talk to the person about making sure that they're doing their part and they're showing up and not being afraid to be loud and heard in the room.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe a few more just maybe a few more social events for our office.
You mean having fun?
Yeah.
What? Do we do that?
And then maybe even some kind of recognition. We're great at having recognition for those who are doing great, but for those people who aren't necessarily producing yet, they feel some kind of way about it.
Okay. Yeah. And then, one second, I think we had, Monica, you had your hand up too, yeah?
I'm so excited.
Monica just joined in. Hey, everybody, we love Monica.
I find it so personal, and I really thank you for your card, Melissa. And I'm like, wow, I'm personal, and I'm customer service. And you guys been here. I don't know all of you, but just I feel I'm an energy person, and this young lady over here, I'm bad with names.
Miss Lynette.
Lynette.
I know.
Young lady.
And I really like Aisha. She's really good. I can't wait to meet the other person that I'm supposed to meet. Just the energy, I just love it. Stay personal. Stay customer service. Make it stay fun. Don't worry. The money's gonna come. Don't worry about the what's going down. I love it that you guys are spiritual. So if you just can grab on to somebody else that don't believe and somebody that does believe, it's gonna be all right. Don't worry about the numbers, because there's somebody else higher that control that. That's why we're here to help and to give back, and give back to you.
Love that.
Yeah. Love that. Excited to have you here.
I know, she's fun. Miss Larissa.
Mine's kind of two parts. So one on the sharing stories, I think I want to like add a point to that, like having people share something that they're like doing well with that's maybe different than how like the model looks. What reminded me of some Chris just shared his open houses are different than how they're taught, right? Like there's no QR, there's no sign-in, there's no script, there's all this stuff, right? It's just like I just have a conversation with people. And hearing that just reminded me like people do things at a really, really high level that they've created a system around that is working really well.
Yep.
And just to hear more of that. And then also to hear like testimonies of people, just like their story.
Yeah.
Like Pam's shared that a couple times. There's been other people in this room that have shared their story and it humanizes people.
Yes.
Sometimes it's really like intimidating to like go up to somebody you look up to and you're like, can I just hear about your life? Like, can I just know about you, you know?
Who would be open to sharing their story or their testimonial of why they're here, what they're doing, and what's working? Like, is there anyone in this room? Not today, but I'm saying, who would be willing to do a video in the future or be able to share? Oh, I love that you cried. Girl, again, go forward.
That's what I just heard. I would bet everybody in this room would, and I would bet nobody would have volunteered for it.
Agreed.
That's true.
I would.
Oh, my. She's here.
What else, guys? I want to share a perspective that I experienced. I think it was like Q4. We went to a training that was Keller Williams associated, but not Keller Williams runs. And to have their main stage speakers, having been the same people that came and sat in this room where we could be eyeball to eyeball and heartbeat to heartbeat, was an example for how we're spoiled rotten in this ecosystem. And sometimes because of that, we lose sight of that. We become numb or it becomes expected.
What was the cost of that event where they had to go see those people?
Yeah, lodging.
Well, I don't remember who ticket was. I mean, we dropped travel boarding.
Happen in this room.
330, guys, 330.
Right.
And
$3.99.
it's the relationships that the ranches have established through hard work and integrity, right? That they're able to share and bring in top speakers and influencers. Diana Kokoska, Tom Millwright, you guys, these are heavy hitters that we got to be eyeball to eyeball with. And I just want to point that out because when it's so accustomed to those experiences, we get kind of selfish with it, right? We have to remember that that is a big deal, that they're constantly looking at how do we expose you guys to such a high level of thinking to continue your growth. And that gets overlooked, right? All the time. And I just wanted to put that back in front of you guys because, can you please say that louder?
I feel like I'm
Oh.
You're spelling, by the way.
I know. You're killing it. Yeah. Miss Kennedy?
I feel like that should be part of the promise that the value prop of the value prop of the office I don't know that that's communicated that's what you get with each other.
Yeah.
To me,
Oh,
honestly.
no, that's good.
I, like Michelle, joined. No one on ELT is here anymore. That was when I joined. And
Emily.
Girl. I feel like I was before you, but maybe. And I think I am learning every day what more is available because I don't think I even knew a thimble amount of what was available in this office.
Well, and I want to challenge you guys. If you have a pain point or you don't know, please ask one of us. And I promise you, we either have the solution in-house or we know who to connect you with, right? So nobody succeeds alone. We really embody that concept, right? We are here to help support you and have your business grow in the authentic and you version, right? That's the cool thing about our industry.
Part of the opportunity though is that all the people you're telling that to probably know.
Yeah.
So everybody here should reach out to somebody who isn't here.
Yes.
And let them know that there's, like, that all of this is available and
Yeah, this goes back to lateral leadership, right? Because we only have so many people on staff in the ELT, right? You guys are an extension of that. You are a leader in our ecosystem, and we are picky about who we let in through the front door because we want to make sure we're honoring them. It also is you guys coming alongside an agent that you haven't seen for a minute or that you know is struggling and helping support. There's so many of you guys and there's not as many of us. And by us being able to team up with that kind of concept, we can make a bigger impact to make sure that 1.97 in unit that an agent is closing isn't our numbers. Does that make sense?
One of the things that shocked me coming here was how much the training is not just about how to sell real estate, it's about the whole person.
Yep.
And some of the financial information that I hear here, it's just like, I wish I'd had it at age 20. Because it's one thing to make money, it's another to keep it.
Right. Yep.
And another to know how to invest it. And that's just so life enriching. And that's what you build a family on and a business on and generational wealth.
Yes, 100%, right? The ranchers have done a great job of encompassing, if we grow you as a human, your business grows as a byproduct, and then taking it to that next level. Cool, we were able to help teach you how to put money in your pocket. Now let's teach you how to have relationships with that money, because we don't get that in our general education, and we may not have gotten that in our upbringing, but you get it here if you choose to plug into it, right? That's the key. You guys have to be willing to expose yourself to higher level thinking and ask questions.
I think we have a committee for that.
What?
Oh,
what would that be?
I see John nodding his head back there. Yeah.
We do, don't we?
Yeah, we do have the wealth committee that meets every other Tuesday now, and we're going through an 8-week series. So if you want to learn more on how to start and get to that ultimate goal of, investing in your future, I mean, it's great.
So if you have nothing, you can join and learn.
Yeah, you don't have to have anything. It's just, it helps those who need a place to start and those who are investing, it helps them how to grow even more.
I want you guys to raise your hand. How many of you guys would like to be millionaires?
Yesterday was National Millionaire Day. I want to be part of it next year.
So I want you guys to go hang out in spaces with billionaires, right? It's that kind of level of thinking that are going to get you there further and faster by your exposure. Okay, joining the wealth committee is a great way to do that. Understanding how other people think and use money at a different level than what you're doing. Okay. What else, you guys? What are we missing? What am I not asking you that I should be right now?
Under the promise, we should put run a business like a business.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you guys still doing care calls?
Yes.
Are you? Right.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing.
I'm hearing someone didn't get a care call.
I know we don't. I will never get one.
What I will say is I was getting a care call and it was when I was in a very dark place and those care calls got me back to the office.
Feedback's breakfast of champions, right? So thank you.
100%. Yep.
I do just like I feel that was like November. I think sometimes it's like there is people who are like in business are just assume they're fine. But that's not always the case. I do think also, I think because you're counting your care calls of like if you have a face-to-face touch base with them, you would mark them off your list and make them.
If I can't get a hold of someone over the phone and I've attempted and I finally I love Josh Clark. He cracks me up. He's on my care call list. That man will not pick up the phone any day, but so I will grab him in the hall. I'm like, it is our care call moment, sir. Tell me about your life. What is going on? And so in that, but I will have attempted.
Like making sure that this is our care call moment with being specific with it. Like when we're calling our forwards, right? When it's, hey, this is a business call, I'm checking in on you, right? So my friends know that this is realtors that are calling and not just friends that are calling.
Oh, I like that.
You know.
I like that. Okay, that's my care
That's
call.
huge. Thank you guys.
No, we appreciate it.
I mean, even like culture, going into actual like culture, like people's culture. Just because, for instance, one of our sellers, I could have really disrespected them if I would have moved something that I thought looked weird. So, you know, just sharing more opportunity, sharing more of people's actual cultures, just so we understand more.
I like that. You say there's a committee for that?
Yeah.
Tell us more.
TEI.
Inclusion and belonging, that's what it's called.
They changed it. They changed
The name
it.
changed.
Look at me, things to learn.
On that note, though, think you've seen the RELT at some of these events more often. Maybe you guys could meet some of those new agents. Right, because they're like Inclusion Belonging does do a lot of events, right? And Victor does a lot of events. And so you guys are at the bigger ones, but like maybe some of the smaller ones that will bring those agents through and get them in contact with higher producing agents. So then they're not like, ooh, I don't know what I want to do, but I, like person, I'm never gonna ask you. It gives them opportunity to rub shoulders with people like Tori, Killing It, or Lene, right? Like, so I don't know, that's an opportunity. I don't know if
It's always
that's
an
too much on
opportunity,
you guys'
yeah.
plate, but having ELT come to some of those events too.
I love hearing you want us around more.
I know, that's what I'm hearing too. You want more calls and all of us around.
Yeah, quality time is for love.
Oh, good to know.
As the productivity coach, I have a pretty great funnel to get messages out to a lot of new agents. And I will just tell every agent in this room, if you have an activity that you would like to see new agents at, please just send me an email, because I will shoot it out to them like that. And when they had a pumpkin patch thing, she needed some people for. So this could be like stuff, if you're hosting an event, I can help you find people to host an event. You know, if you're doing something in the office, just shoot me an email and I will push it out.
Cool.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to, because I have several properties and, I want to keep them, and I want to find a group that I don't want to rent to anybody anymore. The squatter thing is a nightmare. So, it's like, is there a group that knows who I can rent to, you know, like professional people that, instead of the, busy nurses, I know about them, but just other people that I can be short term to, because I don't want to do that rental thing anymore, but I want to keep my property.
Are you talking about our Facebook group?
I don't know about all these groups. I'm still looking through my book and doing all my other stuff.
There's a Furnished Finders website that caters to what you're talking about. It's called Furnished Finders.
Yeah.
Check them out.
And that kind of goes back to one of our opportunities is that, I think we do a great job of offering lots of training and lots of stuff, but I feel like I hear that a lot. I don't know. I know we gave them the information, but it's like a fire hose, right? They get dumped on all of this information, and I don't know for sure that there's a follow back. Like even I will look at and research everything, trying to figure out how to find stuff on the connects or the KW offered stuff. It's still kind of like, what is this? It's like, so maybe some specific training on how to find stuff.
Training on how to find the training.
Training on
That's a catchy name.
Yes.
Like I'm with her.
I love it. No.
I'm really glad you described. Appreciate that.
Okay, how do you know about all these groups? You look at that book and you got an assignment to do that, you know? It's
You
like,
have to hope
I
that
try
you've got
to
a
get
really
people
great
business
mentor.
cards.
I mean, honestly,
What'd you say,
you gotta
Deb?
hope you've got a really great mentor, because that's where I get most of my stuff. Just spending time with my mentor, quick calls, or texts, or, you know, I get a moment with Lene even, I mean, like last Friday is more than a moment, I need a few hours. But still, that is for sure, there's just a lot as a new person coming in, and you have to not be afraid of going and seeking people out, but how do we encourage that one?
Yeah, and one
Not
thing,
everybody's gonna be like me,
number of times where I talked to one of you guys and it's like, well, I didn't reach out because I didn't know who to ask. Just ask one of us and we will point you in the right direction if we don't have the answer.
That's incredibly intimidating as a new person.
Yep, I know.
Which is where I'm trying to encourage.
I'm terrified.
It's about your comfort zone.
Yeah,
If I
we
would've
have
gone
an
to
agent
Dr.
that directs
Sanders, I would have had a whole different trajectory, but I was so scared to do this stuff.
So how do we alleviate that?
I think you assign them somebody.
You what?
Like if I was told, hey, this is the person that you're gonna go to ask questions.
Our director of agent services, that is her role, is to connect our agents with what we have available.
So is that what they're told when they're being onboarded?
Yep.
But it goes back to.
With a lot of other
social events,
information.
it's just making things more like, granted, people have to be here to be able to do those.
That's the key.
Check in with each
Be
other.
here.
Be here.
Emily, could you post the link for KW Answers, just for technical stuff?
Oh, yeah, yeah, if you wanna know how to do something in pretty much any KW platform, it's answers.kw.com. Command is in there, the Command app is in there, KW Connect is in there, Command Connect is in there, like, it's all in there. How to use KWLS, all of those things are at answers.kw.com.
You email Emily, she'll just send you a link.
I will send you the article, because it's faster than me typing the directions to you, to send you the link to the article that walks you through it, yeah.
It's true.
From an agent perspective, I really like it when we take those maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something, like not too long, but when, different agents like, hey, everybody, I need someone to do an open house, or I've got something, a listing in human like when we have this opportunity as agent to agent, face to face, to say what we're working on and what we can either use help with or what our offerings are, I feel like that's beneficial for the agent who's saying something, and then for me to know, oh, this person has something that's similar that I might have missed on the MLS, or just to have those opportunities be announced in the business meeting, I really enjoy. One more thing, maybe just having, I don't know if new agents would feel comfortable doing it, but how we do panels at the business meetings, maybe have new agent panel.
Yeah.
And maybe let them ask us questions, introduce themselves, because now I know who Chris is, I didn't know who he was, right? Now I know who he is, now I see his face, I know his name, I can say hi to him by name, but he's been here all year, right?
Since January, yes.
Yeah, and I didn't know who he was.
Well, okay, then I want to challenge you to introduce yourself, right? Like, again, going back to when someone's walking through the hallway in the market center and it's a new face, just stop for a minute. Like, my story, my first offer that I ever wrote, didn't know what the heck I was doing, 10 o'clock at night, right? Crying all the tears, drinking all the wine. And it was the gal that I walked past in the hallway that saw me in distress and paused. She wasn't even an agent, she was an admin. I didn't know her from Adam, but she helped me kind of clean up my offer, right? That is our culture, you guys. Like, that's what we're about. So I want to challenge you when you're walking through the hallway and there's a face you've never seen or don't know, just stop for a hot second, say hi, introduce yourself, and then keep going on, right? Because those little moments help with those connections and make it so that that new environment for them is less discomforting, right?
I would like to push back a little bit on that, in that we have these small partner meetings, and that's a great time to meet people.
Yeah.
But over in Kent, unless we both came to this small partner meeting, I would have never seen him.
Fair, that's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
I hear what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, I'm taking it up. Okay. All right. Anything else, you guys?
We want to be respectful of your guys' time. There's a button and a clicker.
It's behind Linda.
Sorry, you. We are gonna go. This one's gonna have to go for another day, but we are going to have our movement moment.
I just want to touch on one thing. So how many people in the room got into real estate after 2012? Okay, cool. So anybody feel like it's really hard now compared to when you first got in? Yeah, right. It's really hard. Because remember that chart where interest rates were up here and they went down. So you were skiing downhill, right? We're not going to be skiing downhill like we did for a decade. So in the mortgage industry, there were companies that were born after 2010, right? When things started coming back up, made gobs of money, record amounts of money. Now they're closing their doors. Last year, the average mortgage that was closed lost their company $2,300. Let that sink in. They're closing a loan and they're paying out of money that they made over the previous decade to pay to close that loan because they're just trying to get a deal in the door, right? So the point of this is it's a difficult time. So we have to do difficult things. We have to work harder. We have to educate ourselves better. We have to figure out what's our value proposition. I'm assuming everybody saw the 4 different Gary Keller things about value, right? I watched one of them. They're great. Value Squared, yeah, they're awesome. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch them, maybe they're recorded or something. You should watch them because they're great. We have to figure out what our value proposition is.
Oh, no, you go.
Okay, come on, man, let's go. You and I. Okay, so like, look, nobody's gonna ever see me dancing on TikTok. Nope.
Thank you.
Right? Like nobody wants to see me dancing on TikTok. If dancing on TikTok is your thing, you do you, boo. I don't care. Right? You're gonna be fine if you find people who appreciate your dancing on TikTok.
That would be hilarious.
I might do it just for Dan. But that's not my thing. That's not my audience, right? My audience is gonna be people who want to listen to me talk about a bunch of, numbers and stuff. That's my thing, right? So you have to find your thing. Somebody that appeals to me is not going to appeal to them, right? It's just possibly different things. So you guys have to find that. So we're constantly working on providing more value in how we can. Debbie's been in our industry for over 30 years, right? You want to find somebody that's been around, that's made it through all of the ups and downs. You're gonna find somebody right there, right? I have somebody I want to introduce you to today. Come on up. This is Giovanni Cervantes. We brought Gio into our branch. So just for those of you who don't know how our branch is set up, we have a branch in Renton. Not everybody sits in that branch. Debbie and Isaiah sit here. I sit in Renton. Gio has an office in Enumclaw and then also in Renton. We have another guy who's in Gig Harbor. We have a person in Portland, and we have another person that comes into Renton. So there's just a lot of people that we are helping all over this entire area. We have a team that I personally built, and I have one person who's been with us for 7 years or 17 years. The other person's been with us for 7 years. So we have a long-term group of people that support us on the back end. So if you're working with Debbie, you're getting the same support that if you're working with me or you're working with Gio. That's how we have it set up. Now, the reason I brought Gio over was, one, he's super handsome. But number two, NAR has said that the biggest for the next decade, they're projecting that Latinos are going to be the #1 home buying group for the next decade. That they're going to grow more than anybody else, right? So I'm a 2.5 student, okay? I don't barely speak English.
What's Wazoo?
I did go to Wazoo, I'm sorry. But like, so the point of that is, can you imagine if your first language wasn't English and somebody's trying to explain to you a mortgage? Like, I mean, most people can't even spell mortgage, right? There's a T in there. But we brought Gio on because Gio's very passionate about helping the Latino community. He's very passionate about being able to speak in somebody's native language and explain this process to them. So
yeah, I think it's very important you give every customer, the service they deserve, starting with their own language. And I'm there to be able to guide them through that whole process in their native tongue, be able to understand the mechanics of a mortgage, even in English, is tough. So imagine trying to just speak and figure it out. It's not the right service for that customer if you're not doing it correctly. And so we're here to add that value to you guys, be able to, hey, help these Latino families that are ready. They're hungry, they want to get educated.
We need to focus on every family. We should maybe not try to get them to interpret what playing it in their language. It will make you look better. It will. If you can take care of exactly what Pam said, you can take care of their financial needs and their emotional needs, then mitigate their risk, right? So they understand that client is going to stick with you. And guess what? What are they going to do? They're going to refer their friends, because now they'll be able to say, hey, we had a great experience buying this home with not only the agent, but also the lender. That relationship is way more sticky over time than some of the things that you guys think.
Upcoming training, don't forget, we are closed on Monday. Why are we? Nothing, oh, we're just, there we go. But we have grow your profit share tree on May 23rd. Optimizing growth, diamonds in your backyard. Go fund yourself is a big one. Where do you get the calendar? There's either a paper one in any of your offices, or two, you use the QR code and it will download automatically to your calendar on your phone. Perfect. Again, scan for training calendar. It'll automatically update each month. Anybody need a minute? Fabulous. Go fund yourself. June 4th and 6th. It is $359 for 2 full days. It is a mini mega camp. You don't have to travel. You don't have to get a hotel. You don't have to fly. You get to be here with the best in the business and learn from them. Whoever does math better than me. We have Rosie on the panel. We have a few other people from our office as well. So we would really appreciate you guys coming, supporting, and joining in. Lunch is provided, all that good stuff. Who's here from Inclusion and Belonging? Do you want to talk about it? Nope, cool. We have breakfast and belonging on this date.
The date is the
11th. Thank you. On June 11th in the Kent office at 9:30 in the morning. Would love if you guys would come, connect, and just come and learn. Who can talk about poker night? I don't know too much on this one. I do apologize. Poker night, doors open at 6. Tournament starts at 7. And the money, I believe, is going to be going to KW Cares.
$50 donation gets your chip and 50% will go towards candy.
Did everybody hear that?
Nope.
No, cool. Sarah, a little louder, babe.
$50 donation to KW Cares, Mountain Sound gets your chips. 50% stays to the charity, and 50% will be divided for winners.
Love it. We have our ice cream social on the 15th of June. This is part of your C2C. Even if you're not part of C2C, it's a $50 buy-in to be able to bring your database to an event and get in front of them again.
So you have to sign up for it, and if you are part of C2C, they will manage your smart plan for you. If you are not part of C2C, you don't have to be. You can just sign up for it. $50 buy-in for your whole database, and it's not included with C2C.
You do your own.
Yeah.
Yep. All of your own marketing. I know a few people are taking a photo.
Is there a cost to the people?
Yeah, there's a cost whether you're in C2C or not.
No, I'm talking about the ice cream.
Oh,
Nice.
no, it's $50 for you to be able to bring your database.
Right, and
your
then ice
database
cream's
comes.
free.
Yes.
Because I've heard the clients.
No.
Yep.
I was like double checking, but no. Thank you.
Are we just handing out ice cream bars, or is it like a
There's
inside thing, or?
It'll be in the parking lot, and the goal is multiple ice cream trucks, and there's gonna be like yard games and music going, and so it's like a fun social event, yeah. And if you sign up, if you're encouraged to make your own booth, and so we bring our. Yep.
Yeah.
I like it.
Should everyone take a snapshot that needed? Perfect. And with that, again, C2C, we talked about it today. How many people know another realtor? 14 or 17 realtors?
13 and 17 realtors.
Each person base knows between 13 and 17 realtors. So being in front of them and staying in touch is now more important than ever. Let us do it for you. Take the guesswork out of it and just go out and find more business. How great would that be? Who wants to focus just on business, not have to focus on all that follow-up? Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Movement Mortgage.
For providing lunch today. Thank you, Debbie and Greg.
Cookies and ranch dressing.
Cookies, ranch, and Italian.
I dare you.
I know Billy was mentioning something about Ignite.
Talk to They should be. Yeah. Goldie is not. She's gone.
So you probably have to jack down or.
We're gonna send him flowers.
Oh, yeah.
He was so sweet.
He walked out and then walked back to say.
I love Happy Days. Oh, the guy's the best reason not to Thank you guys for your input.
Well, yeah.